Canada stops energy exports to U.S. Trump expresses fury. Economic losses exceed $120 billion. Breaking. Canada halts key energy exports to the U.S., sparking outrage from Donald Trump and triggering economic losses over $120 billion. What does this mean for North America's future? Stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some breaking news that's shaking up North American trade and politics. Canada has just announced a halt on certain energy exports to the United States, and as you can imagine, former President Donald Trump is not holding back in his reaction. This move is already causing ripples across the economy, with estimated losses soaring beyond $120 billion. So, what's going on? Why did Canada make this bold decision? How is the U.S. responding, and what does this mean for both countries moving forward? Let's break it all down. First, let's understand what exactly Canada has done. Canada is one of the largest suppliers of energy to the U.S., providing significant amounts of oil, natural gas, and electricity. This relationship has long been a backbone of the North American energy market. However, due to a combination of political tensions, environmental concerns, and strategic moves to assert energy independence, Canada has announced that it will temporarily stop or drastically reduce certain energy exports to the U.S. This isn't a complete shutdown of all energy flows, but it's significant enough to send shockwaves through markets and governments. Why did Canada take such a drastic step? Several factors are at play. On one hand, Canada is pushing harder on its environmental commitments and wants to reduce the strain of exporting fossil fuels. On the other hand, there's growing pressure from domestic groups who believe Canada should prioritize its own energy needs and development, especially amid global uncertainties. Plus, some analysts believe this is also a political maneuver aimed at rebalancing power in trade negotiations and asserting Canada's sovereignty in energy policy. Enter Donald Trump, who wasted no time in expressing his fury. Trump, known for his aggressive stance on energy and trade, slammed Canada's decision as unfair and a direct attack on the U.S. economy. He warned of serious consequences and threatened retaliatory measures if Canada doesn't reverse the decision. His comments have stirred up the political climate further, reigniting debates about trade dependency and energy security. Now, let's talk about the economic impact. Experts estimate that the halt in energy exports could cause losses exceeding $120 billion across various sectors. This figure includes direct losses from reduced energy sales, as well as secondary effects like increased energy costs for American consumers and businesses, disruptions to supply chains, and ripple effects in related industries like manufacturing and transportation. For Canada, the move means sacrificing a huge revenue stream, but officials argue the long-term benefits of energy independence and environmental protection outweigh these short-term costs. So, what does this mean for ordinary people on both sides of the border? For Canadians, the government is pushing a narrative of resilience, emphasizing investments in renewable energy and new industries that can compensate for the lost export revenues. For Americans, it means potentially higher energy bills and increased uncertainty in the market. Businesses that rely heavily on Canadian energy may have to look for alternative suppliers or adjust operations, which could translate into higher costs passed down to consumers. It's also important to look at the diplomatic fallout. This energy spat could complicate the already delicate relationship between Canada and the U.S., especially as they work together on various international issues. Trade talks may become more contentious, and cooperation on environmental and security fronts might face hurdles. Looking ahead, the situation remains fluid. Both countries are likely to engage in high-level negotiations to find a compromise. Canada may offer phased exports or exemptions to critical sectors, while the U.S. might ease certain trade barriers or offer incentives to Canadian companies investing in cleaner energy. The global energy market, which is already volatile due to geopolitical tensions, will also influence the outcome. In conclusion, Canada's decision to stop certain energy exports to the U.S. marks a significant shift in North American energy dynamics. With economic losses estimated over $120 billion and political tensions heating up, this story is far from over. It's a clear reminder of how intertwined energy policy, trade, and politics are and how decisions on one side of the border can have major repercussions on the other. Thanks for watching. If you found this update insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends who follow North American politics or energy news, and don't forget to subscribe for more timely updates. What do you think about Canada's decision and Trump's reaction? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear your take. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.